a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Green Sally up, a green Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy's dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Wow, this is great to see you guys again. I must say, I cannot believe that it's already a year since the last one. I was speaking to a couple of you, and it's like, how odd is this 1 year later? And it gives me such pride to be here and to spend some time with you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for making it here. I know it's been, for a lot of people, it's been a hard, long year, and there's a lot of things that are happening this time of the year in terms of functions. And so I just want to give you guys if you can give each other a round of applause and to say welcome and thank you very much for coming. So I think back a year ago, and I'm not. This is not an AI event, so don't get all weird about it. So a year ago, AI was like this new kid on the block. Nobody knew what it was about. Everybody was like BSing themselves and saying that they knew what generative AI is. And there was a whole lot of misconceptions and stuff. Some things were working, some things weren't. It was all good. And literally this year, so much has happened and it's become so clear what it can actually do in our normal day-to-day lives and how we operate in terms of our businesses. However, this is not true for everything that we do. So I thought as part of the global space, I deal with a company in New Zealand called Smart Space AI. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of a synopsis, and maybe it'll just give you some ideas around what the market really looks like and sort of positioning what OQLIS is about and how we differentiate. So the first thing that Smart Space is, they started about 2 years ago on the back of a really good tech investment called LawView. They sold the business for 55 million, and the owner, Tim, which I know quite well, decided to jump into the AI space. Invested millions and millions to build a platform to help customers navigate this whole AI generation and how it was. Anyways, what happened was a couple of months ago, Microsoft Fabric released a new version, made their product obsolete. Lost millions at the moment, selling all their clients back to Microsoft. So the thing is, it's not just sunshine and roses out there. The pace that we're dealing with at the moment is quite intense. Another client that I've got that I deal with is called Pathian. Exactly the same thing. They basically were contracted by a local investment house, $2.5 million, to build out an AI platform. At the moment, these guys are not building anything. They're doing AI assessments. And the AI assessments that they're doing, about 10 to 20 a month, are about trying to find those holes where AI can be used. Now, at this stage, their success rate of finding opportunities is only between 10 and 20%. It's not that the ideas suck or that there's people aren't innovative or they haven't got use cases that are working. The fact is the technology isn't there yet, and it's not ready for certain environments. So that comes to the strategic lesson learned, how we've approached our business. All of this isn't as complicated as we look at. There's so many opportunities out there. However, a lot of these opportunities won't be seen the day of light at the moment. So we need to not focus on all those shiny new AI investments, and rather focus on being strategic, smart, and patient, and finding those solutions that actually can add us value. And really, it's like, if you think about it, it's almost like, is it leading edge? Is it bleeding edge? Or is it fit for the market? Is it value that your business is going to be doing? So that's exactly where OQLIS plays. We've been in the market for over 10 years. We've built such great solutions that fill really great opportunities within customers. And we're around navigating the world with our customers and finding those intelligent solutions, and not those solutions that are, bleeding edge and that you're going to waste your time on. So if I can ask you one little lesson that you learned today, don't think that everything can be AI'd. You know what I mean? It's not the case at the moment. The market's showing that. However, we are doing such great stuff in the market, and that's what tonight is about. So tonight, we are celebrating our partners. We're celebrating what they've achieved and what incredible results they've used to make our platform, to use our platform. And that's really what it's about. We've really provided the plumbing for our customers to really deliver those intuitive, smart decisions, smart solutions for their customers. And so tonight, we're going to be basically, I've done the introduction. We're going to be doing a little bit of awards for our customers. And we're really going to showcase. So it's not about smoke and mirrors. It's not about rubbish. It's about things that we tangible did. And we're going to award our customers that we really value and the stuff that they've done that are making differences in their business and their customers' business. And that's what it's really about. So then I'll be handing over to Robert. Robert will give an overview of each of the different awards that we're going to give out, the Lumin Awards, and celebrate our customers and what they are achieving and what they're doing. Give a little bit of synopsis and sort of give a little bit of highlight the value that they're actually receiving out of using our platform. Then I'm going to hand you over to, or Rob will hand over to Andrew, and he will speak about what he's seen over the last 12 months, what we have achieved in terms of the technology and the platform over the last 12 months. And then he will give us a really good insight of what his vision is for the next 12 months. So really exciting stuff, and really keeping up with the pace of change and shaping a smart and informed customer base that can actually add the value and not the smoke and mirrors that we're seeing in the market. So I'd like to ask you to have an unforgettable evening, celebrate our guys that have done great work, our team that is really, and Andrew will go through, or Rob will go through that, is celebrating our team and what they've achieved this year and how they're enabling these customers to do great stuff. And really, it's about celebrating what we've achieved and what our partners have achieved. So I would just like to hand over to Rob. And Rob, could you just come and introduce all the different awards? Thank you very much.
Right, Shawnee came all the way from New Zealand, so it's his customary trip to South Africa. Good to see him. So we've got our company function on the weekend, so it's going to be good to catch up. And he's doing some pretty cool, amazing things out there in New Zealand. So yeah, looking forward to hearing everything that he's busy with. So yeah, I think just quickly before I start, I've had a couple of questions, and someone asked me now, and they're like, "What is Lumin25?" I was like, "What do you mean, what is Lumin25? How do you not know?" And I was like, well, wait a minute. Not everyone knows what we know. So I thought, let me just explain to you guys like how the name came about. So obviously we've got a feature in OQLIS called Lumin. And the word really means to essentially illuminate insights into your data. So, and then obviously 25 is, well, it's 2025. So, we didn't go Lumin 1, 2, or 3. So that's kind of how we did it. So it's actually our third event, but it says Lumin 25 because of the year. So for those people who don't know what Lumin meant, that's what it means. All right. So yeah, first of all, again, thank you for everyone. I know it's a crazy time of the year. Lots of functions, exams. My kids are writing exams. They're at home alone. Hopefully they're studying. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, so I think in a nutshell, like, I appreciate everyone making the time. I hope you guys will get some value out of this. Like Shawn spoke about the one company and Microsoft released something and they were dead. Like sometimes I get a little bit nervous because we're pretty much a big compete for one of their major products. But then at the same time, like we move so quickly and we're so agile, like, and I know this is a bold statement that I'm making, but I don't believe that there's an organization that can move as quick as we're moving. And the way that we're embracing AI to let the dev team build faster and quicker is truly phenomenal. So like, I get excited when I come to the office. It's like, if I have to miss a day or if I've got to work from home and babysit kids, I get grumpy. I'm like, I want to go to the office. I miss the office. So yeah, anyway. So I think, like just quickly what we're going to do today is obviously go through these different awards. Like just kind of like talk about what the award means and then kind of like showcase the customer that, like really owned that category for us this year. But there's a few brands that are also on the OQLIS platform that are not going to be showcased tonight. And if I could showcase all our customers, I would, but then it would be a very long event and I'd probably be talking to nobody. So in a nutshell, like there's some companies here, Advanotech, Chart, you guys are doing some really amazing stuff. I think next year is going to be your year, bro. Like, no, like they're doing some. No, 100%. I think next year they're doing some really cool stuff with, building occupancy. What's the stuff that you guys are monitoring for intrusion? Electricity boxes. So they're using OQLIS. Obviously, they've got their own IT devices, but they're using OQLIS to really measure and monitor that. So yeah, next year, bro. We've got a team from Afgri Logistics here. They're doing a lot of like sales and budget forecasts and actual data on the platform. I'm not quite sure where they are. I can't really see everyone. I see a hand. There they are. I don't know if the BSure insurance advisor people are, I haven't seen them yet. They are, yeah. Finally, they made it. All right, awesome. How was the trip from Joburg? Oh, that's even worse. That's a long trip. Yeah, that's a long trip. Okay. Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Hopefully also you guys. But so BSure is a really cool, interesting story. Just very quickly, when they bought the platform, they pretty much did everything themselves. We didn't really build anything. They pretty much did most of the work themselves. I think if at max, we probably did about 40 hours of helping them build some dashboards. So, that also talks to the fact that it's not just this product that you got to be dependent on a team for. You can do things yourself. I know we've got, I don't know, the Datacentrics guys had to cancel, the SFI team, our team from Namibia, the pathology guys. So there's a lot of cool customers using our platform, and I just unfortunately wanted to mention them, but couldn't give them something. So sorry, guys. Okay, so tonight we're going to go through the last 5 categories. And I think the first one, obviously, that we start with is what we call solution growth. So, like this is when we acknowledge a customer who's basically shown like large or phenomenal growth in terms of either onboarding customers, users, and or data points. This specific customer uses the client in a fully white labeled solution. And they've gone and created a new product around OQLIS. So they've gone and basically white labeled OQLIS, called it View It, and essentially have taken this to market and are generating a brand new revenue stream that they didn't have 2 years ago. So it shows you that you can monetize data and the importance of data to certain organizations. Like this year, they've also doubled their customers. So they've been on the platform fully for about 18 to 20 months. And, this 2025 year, they've doubled their customer base as well as more than doubled the actual devices. They'll come and talk a little bit about what they actually do, but essentially they've got these devices that measure data or basically measure weight and produce data. And these devices can be on trucks, it can be in a silo, it can be on a conveyor belt. And all these devices basically sync and just push data into OQLIS. And we essentially even act as the data warehouse for them. So, they haven't had to go and invest in like massive infrastructure or Azure networks or AWS or whatever it is. They've literally just jumped into our cloud and started making money. Like, it's actually scary. But that's Glenn. I know how he is. So anyway, and then they've also invested in wrapping this application into a fully mobile application. So it's the only client who's actually gone and taken OQLIS or View It and built a mobile app, and it's fully embedded in that mobile app. So you can actually download the app. If you got a login, it auto logs you in, and you can basically get your dashboards and data on your device. So very cool. And then I think another cool thing about them is that they have started to build a technical team to handle not only the support queries, but they've obviously got a stock standard deployment strategy that they go to clients with. But then a customer will say, well, I want a dashboard or reports that actually show me this. So he's now built a team that's basically going to be able to do that for their customers so that they don't have to come to OQLIS anymore, which essentially means he's generating further revenue in consulting services, etc., to take it to his customer market. So yeah, so essentially I just want to like call up and congratulate Loadtech. It's the second year in a row he's won it. Hopefully he won't win it 3 years in a row. Where is old Glenn? There he is, like a Glenn. Sorry, Glenn. Okay. So Glenn's the director of Loadtech Loadcells. Glenn, I don't know if you want to just say a few things like what this year's been and like what you guys have gotten up with.
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank everyone and OQLIS and their team. I think led from the top with Andrew and Robert, they've done a good job with their team, backing us up, and I've taken some of their know-how in building a team, and I've actually built my own team. And I'm going to be honest with you, no one's going to take this award. I'll get it again next year. Yeah, because we're going to grow. We've got some new innovative products that we're going to do. But essentially, we've grown to such a point that we're actually helping our customers in a way that they've become more profitable. And that's what it's about. If we can measure something for them, they can measure and see how much money they're going to make, actually. So there's losses in mines, belt weighers, in anything you want to see what's happening. So in the old days, they had tally sheets. So they'd go and they'd tell you how many tons they did for the day, clear it. Now we show that for them. They can just open a dashboard. So the quarry manager can actually go and play golf. You can do more things. So it's really, really nice. And we've got a team that we've even put up a big screen in our, they've got their own little department. We've put up a big screen and we've highlighted the assets. So if it goes red, we know it's offline and we contact the customer and say, what's going on? Is everything working? Is everything in place? And this is what they're doing. So we've taken it also to a point where that tally sheet, you can actually input stuff as well, and we can verify it with the data. And then they can actually have a straight data sheet like that. So be it night shift, day shift, whatever it is. We're moving more stuff. We've actually got a new product, which is an engine management system. And that's also going to be going on to View It. So, yeah, we're excited for more stuff. Yeah.
I'm going to take this out and then just say thanks, Glenn. I really appreciate the support. Congratulations, and hopefully next year's even bigger.
No, we'll get this one again.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, yeah. This year I kind of wanted to do like a mic that was on so I could have my hands available to me, but it's going to be a bit tougher. So we're like, I got told we're sticking with this, so it's all good. All right. So again, thanks a lot, Glenn. Like when I go to some customers and I do like a quick demo and a showcase to clients, Glenn's solution is one of the first I rock up and I would showcase. Just to kind of like show like, you know, like some of the cool custom things we've done. So, you know, it's not just that he's got volume and customer growth, it's he uses so much of the application and the different features. So really cool. All right. Okay, so the next category very quickly is what we call data innovation. So really this category is essentially where we try to acknowledge a customer or like kind of identify someone where they're doing something on the platform that we actually haven't seen someone do. we may not have even thought about it ourselves. I'm saying may not have thought about it. So, essentially this customer has also been working with us and talking to us for quite some time, probably pretty much since I got here or since I joined OQLIS. But yeah, I would say this year was really a breakout year for them in terms of taking not just their solutions that they provide to clients, but essentially embedding OQLIS inside of their final solution that they take to market. So, essentially this customer's got their own edge gateway where they collect, manage, and essentially stream data directly into OQLIS. They also use our IoT module. So essentially, again, we've got this endpoint that literally just sits and listens for data. You just stream it into our platform. We then also act then as that little data warehouse. We'll not even act as the data warehouse, but the data can then get stored. And essentially, this goes directly into, again, a high-performance data warehouse that we actually host for them. What I also like about them is they didn't just build dashboards. They build what we call rich interactive dashboards. So we've got a feature in in Explores, which is called the HTML override, which means you can essentially go and essentially custom code HTML visuals with JavaScript and basically embed it and kind of like go and do something that, even though we've got the like a KPI chart, it overrides it. So you can pretty much do whatever you want. So you could embed images, you can go crazy, really, to be honest. So they've done some really cool things like that. And then essentially they also make use of Lumin, which is our Gen AI model, where we integrate into these large learning language models that basically, and they use narrative KPIs, and they basically use Lumin to guide and just do a little bit further insights and kind of summary on their data. But the thing that really stood out for us and what was really cool was we've got machine learning models embedded and built into OQLIS. So when we heard that they wanted to do some machine learning and modeling, we thought they were going to use the models we've built and embedded into OQLIS, not these guys. What they went and did was they kind of said, well, we'll use your Unify feature and we're going to custom code our own models. And we're going to basically use our models to go and fetch data, then basically use these models to forecast further data and essentially basically store that forecasted data to kind of like plot it against actual versus, forecasted, and see essentially the idea is, and they'll explain it a little bit now, but essentially the idea is they can then determine when they do, or one of their customers has to do water treatments, is this water treatment going to use more, let's say more electricity or more power? Is it going to cost more because maybe there's been a lot of rain, so the water is going to be dirty, etc.? And they use these models to do these type of forecasts. But the cool thing is that they literally coded their models on our Unify feature and then are writing the data back and forth. So yeah, I thought that was like the ceiling win, why it was cool for us. But yeah, so I'd like to call up and thank Adroit Technologies. I think we're going to call Hichu. He's the Digital Services Director. Okay, Hichu. Okay, so Hichu, same thing with Glenn is like, I mean, we've been on quite a journey. I think, sometimes it felt like we were never going to get that wheel started. But this year has really been a breakout year for me. When I was on your platform and I was looking at what you guys were doing, I was in awe. I was like, wait a minute. It's like, this is amazing. Yeah, I was a believer. You guys sold me. Yeah. So maybe you can also just maybe give the team or the audience a little bit of a summary, like what it is you guys do. Why did you choose OQLIS? I also remember when we started talking, Hichu spoke a lot about this one specific platform that it can do this and do that. So maybe why did you choose us versus other? Because let's be honest, there's lots of products out there. So yeah. So thanks again, Hichu.
Thank you very much, Rob. Without trying to do a sales speech here. I think what's probably a bit unique between our partnership is that we both a consumer and a partner and a reseller of the OQLIS platform. So effectively, to start, we got to look at what our business model is. So we're a software development house like OQLIS, and we do factory automation. So like Loadtech, for instance, we are in any industry where we capture real-time machine data. And effectively then in our world is real-time monitoring. But being a sort of development house, the challenge with that is always that new technology comes on board, and the first thing that developer says, "Oh, we're going to do it. We're gonna build our own platform." So that's where our journey actually started, and we did a very extensive due diligence to understand the benefits of IoT platforms. You would have heard of that, I'm sure. But we were really after the source of being able to do this advanced analytics on the data. That's the value add that we wanted to add to our customers. So we went out and said that we didn't want to go and compete with the Microsoft of the like. We like OQLIS to go and compete with them. They've got the experience, they've got the specialist skills to do it. So we looked throughout the whole value chain within the IoT platform as well, and we saw that OQLIS really presents that turnkey solution. And there's, I think, a lot of hidden value in a lot of the building blocks within the OQLIS. We've taken full leverage of the IoT module, but it was a perfect fit for us because that's what we were looking for, which none of the other platforms out of the box presented. So that's really the benefit that we gathered from it. Also, with the Lumin and the technology that you guys drive, it's just a fit for us. We want to focus on the value add that we can present to our customers, and that makes us, puts us in that position.
I think it's good to hear that. Because there's been times when I was wondering, would this be a good fit with the two parties? And I'm talking about back in 2023. But I'm glad we pushed through it, and I'm glad we worked, because I promise you, I was sitting next to Andrew and I logged in and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, Andrew, check what these guys are doing. And he's like, yeah, I know. So I was a bit behind the curve. Andrew was obviously keeping abreast. Andrew and Niku, they work a lot with you, so they know what you're up to. So so thanks again. I think let's just a small token of appreciation for trusting us with your brand. So thank you very much, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Yehu, the lady wants a photo. Sorry. Did you get one of Glenn? Okay, we'll do it later. Glenn won't go. Okay, sure. Sometimes I don't get the memo, so you just got to coin it itsy. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to try and run through. I obviously don't want to do the categories injustice. I like to get to Andrew's part, because that's the exciting bits also. That's where he talks around, what we've done this year, really cool things and what we've got planned. But this is probably one of my favorite categories, in the sense that I like numbers. And when I was compiling or basically judging on this, I kind of was looking at data and stats, and I was looking at, basically this specific customer, and I was like, it's pretty impressive what these guys are doing. So in a nutshell, I mean, they are essentially what we call a cyber security and operations center. And they integrate with a variety of products. I'm not going to go off and rattle them. I think you can all read on the screens, hopefully. But basically, all these products, most of them sit in the cloud, and the data is staying in the cloud, and they usually only keep the data for 30 days, roughly. But very often, a customer wants to be able to go back and say, I want to look at essentially trends in cyber threats, etc. But now they don't have access to this data. So, when these guys essentially joined us, we essentially helped them basically put all these integrations together. They've got it running across 14 different clients. And basically, we push all this data into a data warehouse for them, so that clients can go back and do analytics on cyber threats on these different product stacks. But yeah, I think what was cool for us in terms of the data volume, and that's a lot about what this award is about, is the fact that we went and we looked we've ingested 14.6 billion rows of data across the different customers' integrations for these different products. So, I was actually chatting to the Empath people, so it might not sound a lot to them, but for us, that's quite a lot. And then obviously they've also got a ton of dashboards that they've built. And we've also, I think it was about 2 years ago, we released a feature on the dashboards where basically it's not just one dashboard, you can have multiple tabs. And they've got over 450 tabs across these 85 dashboards. So what I like about it is they're a big user They build a lot of things. They've got a lot of integrations. They deal and work with a lot of data. They've also won it last year again, so we're gonna have to try and get some customers to put pressure on these oaks. Hopefully it's Ampath next year. We'll see. But yeah, so I'd just like to call up Chris de Wit from Gijima and just say thank you. Thank you, Chris. Chris, if I understand, you're a cybersecurity engineer for Gijima. Yeah, so again, like, listen, I know you've been on the platform also for about a year and a half, 18, 20 months. Maybe just quick high-level overview. What has it done for your business? Feedback from customers, things like that.
So I think one of the things that we've managed to do now is to get 90% of our entire tool set, which is a variety of things, onboarded into OQLIS. And what that's done is it's given us a canvas to not just have dashboard. It paints the picture, it tells the story of what we want to show customers, which is difficult in security. I think for me as an engineer, my favorite part of the tool is definitely the time it saved us. So I think it's about 3 days at least in each month for each engineer that we now can spend on building new rules and doing the things that matter.
Say that again, 3 days per engineer.
Yes, definitely. At
How many
least
engineers?
with 3 engineers. But I think across the team, all the guys that did reporting essentially, they were doing manual reporting with the tool before, yes. So no, that saved us a lot of time. Yeah. I also have to thank the team. The guys are awesome. Really, I have to give you guys a nod. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, who do you work with a lot mostly?
With Michael mostly and John T. Yeah, sometimes Louis.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Michael, John P. Louis, good kids, and they know what they're doing.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, no, Chris, thank you very much. Again, we appreciate the fact that you're trusting your brand and your customers' data with us. And also, like, I mean, we get the question a lot about security and vulnerabilities. I mean, you've been with the platform now 20 odd months, but I mean, have there been any concerns from your side around trusting the data inside of OQLIS? Yeah, very, very comfortable. Okay, so if he's comfortable, then I think we're okay. All right, Chris, just something that you can put on your desk at the office to say thank you very much. All right, so we can just look there. She's going to take a photo. Thanks a lot. Bye, donkey. All right. He won't mind me saying this, but I mean, I used to work in a group where there were a lot of security engineers, and they're all the same. Like, it's just, and that's why I asked him that question, because they're normally very cautious about things in the beginning. They don't trust software, especially, who are you guys? You know, you're like a little old South African company. Like, how can you compete with Microsoft? Get out of here. Like, go away. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's lots of people who've thought about that. So yeah, thanks again, Chris. And please tell the rest of the team at Gijima we appreciate you guys. Okay, sweet. All right, down to the second last award. I'll be quick. This is essentially, obviously, and this is a big part of what, like, I'm really trying to drive at OQLIS. I don't always get it right. It's frustrating. But a big thing about me is, like, there's so many customers out there. I personally can't get to every single client. It's physically impossible. Plus, then I'll never be in the office, and then I'll never know what the product's doing. So how am I going to, like, actually position it and sell it? So yeah, so I really need to rely on specific partners, people who can fly the OQLIS flag, who can carry the brand forward. And we've got some really cool partners out there. I know there's a partner, the First Digital guys are here. I know they're here. Where are they? They're in the background. We've got a couple of customers with them. And I know the people from Code are here. The Code. So also a good partner, also a customer via Code. So, the idea is to try and keep building the partner channel out. And the reason for that is, like I said, it's impossible for little old me to go and, see everybody. And the thing is, to do that, I'm going to have to hire 10 salespeople. But I need salespeople that understand data and understand analytics. And it's just never going to work. So I really need and love a partner channel. Does it mean we will always only work through partners? No, there are some customers we deal with directly. But yeah, like, I think if there's a message I can get you to like, I need a partner channel, right? So don't be afraid if even Gijima, like if you got some customers that want to do data reporting on other platforms, not just security, you know, there's a good opportunity for Gijima to be that partner. So yeah, so basically that's what this category is about, is pretty much where I like to acknowledge a partner who's brought in the most number of customers. And essentially, you know, like this could be either in a separate instance sold via directly to the partner, or that the partner has their own white labeled instance. In this case, you know, this partner has a very strong white label solution that they onboard all their customers through, and they segregate and essentially separate all this data via workspaces. So, you know, this client's got, I think, pretty much almost 40 workspaces or over 40 workspaces for all these different customers. So what that really means is when their clients log in and they're associated to just that workspace, they see only their data and their dashboards. So yeah, so they also, this partner's got the highest technical user base. What I mean by that is essentially people who can build on OQLIS outside of OQLIS, the organization itself. And like I said, they run that fully white labeled solution called Flow Analytics. They have over 40 customers. What I also like about them is they were a very early adopter when I got here at OQLIS. And I remember there may have been one or two hard chats, but it was direct and honest discussions, which I also always appreciated. So I always felt like I knew where I stood with this partner. I knew what they wanted and what the expectation was of us, and what I had to do to deliver and service that partner. So yeah, that what I also like is that they're constantly building or pushing us for new features. They came to us the other day and said, well, we've got this old document portal and we don't want to use SharePoint, and we kind of want to just transition this. Can we put this inside OQLIS? We're like, yeah, we think we can do it. So we didn't actually build a document management feature. They just actually went and used our data grid write back feature with blob storage, I think it is, Andrew, I'm not sure. And essentially just went and built a document management solution in a dashboard. And it's got like auto tracking and full version history. Like it's pretty nifty. So really cool how they're pushing the boundaries on the platform. So yeah, I'd just like to congratulate Forte and ask Peter Hendrik and Trevor to come up and basically say a few words. Thanks, guys. Okay. So Trevor is Reichert. He's the ops manager at Forte, and Peter Hendrik, thanks again. He's the CEO and co-founder of Forte Supply Chain Solutions. I did see we've got another one. Yeah, I just don't know if it's on. We're going to put it on. So what I'll do is I'll give you guys two, and then you can saam praat. Okay, so let's just test this. Yeah, it's on. So just very briefly, again, we've been pretty much partners now for, I'd say, about 3 or 4 years, roundabout. What has OQLIS meant to your business? What have you guys been able to achieve? Is there anything we should know about? Can we improve? Like really, like I think the floor is yours to either name and shame or praise, you know?
We'll definitely not name and shame, but I think first things first, thank you very much, Robert. We really do appreciate it, and we are very grateful to receive this award. Why OQLIS? So for us, I think the most obvious answer, and everyone has spoken about the product and about the technology and about how nifty that is, but I'll leave that over to Trevor, who knows the tech side much better than I do. But I think the cliche for us and why this partnership is so crucial to our business and why it's an integral part of who we are is because we've built a business around our partners. And for us, it's imperative to choose partners that we can really walk this journey with. So for us, OQLIS has fit that mold to the T. And working with yourself, working with Shawn, working with Andrew and the rest of your team, for us, that's where it starts, that human element, that where we share the same values, we see client centricity and dealing with client scenarios and issues and challenges the same way. Because if we want to deliver a specific service to our clients out there, we need a partner that can back that up. So for us, I think to quickly elaborate on one or two things from a partnership perspective, a lot has been spoken about your agility as a product, the way that it can be used in many different ways and shapes, and Trevor can maybe elaborate on that. I think second to that is the fact that we service a customer base in the supply chain that's a high demanding, fast-paced environment. We need a partner that can really provide support and quick support. And in OQLIS, we've really found that. So in our partner, we can really come to you at any given point in time, and there'll always be someone that's willing to help. And obviously, I think the last crucial point that we've not really spoken about tonight, but that's your commercial model. I mean, you've referred to it right in the beginning, but your commercial model in a environment where we're playing that's very cost conscious, that's very cost sensitive, your commercial model that's not based on a per user, that made the worlds of difference for our client base. And that was a very, I think, imperative strategic initiative from you guys, which allowed us to really go to our client base and unlock a lot of synergies. Yeah.
Great. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, because that was one of the first things like I addressed when I joined Jay's, that there was a user model. It was a bit of an archaic and didn't really encourage people to distribute data. So everyone's worried about user licensing, and they're like, well, we can't share this because now I've got to buy more licenses. Yes. And it really defeated the purpose of what our actual ethos was and what we were trying to achieve. So switching to that, let's call it a data connector model, which is essentially saying unlimited users, unlimited dashboards, go crazy, do whatever you need to do. That really opened the door at a lot of customers and made the licensing discussion actually simpler, if that makes sense, right? I'm literally like, well, there's the thing, use that, right? It's 3 blocks, you choose which one you want. No licenses around users. So yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that.
I think from my side, I want to thank the team as well. I've been working closely with Niku, always available to help, and it's made a big difference. It's I can see why. I'll start calling him that too. But I think I've said it before, and it really it's true. It's the versatility. Because we can come with any request and there's somehow a way. And I think I've said it before. I said there might be an O in OQLIS, but there's no no in OQLIS, and it's a thing. With the customer document portal, it was a very wild idea, and it's a practical thing that's really going to be a game changer in our business, and we're really grateful for that.
That's great to hear. Awesome. So well, again, guys, 2 years in a row. So I really appreciate it. Who do I give it to? Okay, Trevor. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the partnership. Thank you very much. So yeah, I really appreciate the kind words there, guys. All right. So yeah, basically the last award, and this is essentially what we call the Lumin Award. This is kind of like the overall and overarching, the main award, if you want to call it that. What we really do is on this category is basically for a customer that's shown like solution growth. They're using the platform like really innovatively. They deploying solutions that are impactful. They essentially touching a variety of different areas. So essentially they tick all those different categories, not just one. They're doing a whole bunch. So basically, like it's someone that might not be the largest customer, but they're playing in all the different areas for us, and they're making a true impact. What they're also doing is they are using OQLIS not just for their customer-facing solutions and building products around it. They are also using it internally. So they're building essentially financial dashboards. They're doing a lot of, let's call it group finance and like income statements and a whole bunch of like financial reporting for internal use. And like I said, they're doing all these different customer-facing solutions. So they've got a thing called SCAS, which is a collision avoidance system. So basically, they have these devices that go on vehicles and pedestrians, and they make sure that the vehicles don't drive over pedestrians. So they basically slow the vehicle down or crawl it or stop it. And obviously, they have to do a whole bunch of reporting on this data. And then they wanted to go and do like insights and plug it into a Gen AI model and let the AI model kind of like who's going to cause, which person's going to cause the most interaction maybe on a Thursday morning or a Friday morning. So yeah, so like they're doing a lot of stuff that's basically that they're then going to take this data and this analytics and they take it to their customers that are using their devices. For their occupational safety solutions, they report on hazardous gases, underground, which is a real thing in the mining industry. They then tied that into what we called, what was a ML-based carboxyhemoglobin, basically prediction project. where they tried to predict. They took data out of they took the CO data out of these OSS dashboards. Then they try to go and basically predict, because you can't test. There's, let's say, 100 miners. You can't test their blood levels every day when they come out of the mine. It's too much. So, they've got to basically try and predict based on the person's exposure to carbon, to CO, essentially, to basically say, like, well, what's the risk of this person, like that they, I don't know, what was that? Who was that? Aircons. So what's the risk of these carboxyhemoglobin levels, like in the miner's blood levels, increasing over these different or multiple shift levels, because they simply can't get to doing blood tests on every shift. They're using like RFID tags to track a variety of different assets moving across multiple locations within the mining sites, and then using OQLIS to kind of report and visualize that. And then obviously they're also doing a lot of like specific, they've got like these disposable RFIDs that they're putting on essentially on conveyor belts, and they're tracking different commodities, stuff like iron ore, and essentially basically helping customers kind of calculate throughput, or if there's any delays on the conveyor belt, just to kind of like maximize throughput. So this year's really been a turn, like I would almost want to say like also like a breakout year for this customer in terms of what they're doing on the platform, not just in terms of the different products that they're surfacing and taking to their customers and using OQLIS data reporting for, but also for the internal use, specifically around their financial dashboards. They came to us with a problem. They were using another solution, and essentially, asked us, they've got some challenges. Could we be able to solve it? And literally 3 weeks later, POC done, and Bob was your uncle. So yeah. So anyway, so I'd just like to congratulate and call up Mark Stevens and Brigitte Pretorius from Schauenburg, just to come say a few words. Thanks. Thanks, Brigitte. Thanks, Mark. I hope I got most of that right, because it's a lot. I'm going to give you guys also, because there's two of you, you can just get that on. You can talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think, Mark, for the audience that doesn't know, I mean, we've been on a journey now for probably a good 3 years, right? I ran into you guys. In actual fact, Adroit was at the Mining Expo, if I remember correctly. And, Kevin walked past and was like, what dashboards are these? And from there, we kind of like felt each other out, and I think we've come a long way. But I think for me, what I wanted to ask you is this year specifically, like what have you seen from OQLIS that has really been like a game changer as to why you guys, because there's obviously a lot of options out there. You could even build it yourself from there. Why did you decide to go with OQLIS?
I think the answer for that is twofold. The first thing is that dashboards are becoming passé. And that may sound contradictory, but although the dashboards become passé, the customer wants to adapt to those dashboards very, very quickly. And that urgency and the ability to adapt those dashboards quickly was something that added us, or you brought to us, that gave us value very, very quickly. And that was great. But I think the thing that really stepped up this year was when I was here last year, you showed us your chatbot integration. And we said we wanted that. And I didn't think we'd get it. And we've got it now.
Yeah.
And that's a fundamental game changer for us, because there is so much data on a mine, but not enough insights. And by incorporating that bot into our dashboards, it enables us to give a solution to our customers that scales insights. So you don't have to have a subject matter expert that can look at a dashboard, ask a question, and get a meaningful answer.
Yeah.
That's really, really powerful.
Yeah, like what I saw a lot with some of your CAS or SCAS dashboards was, like it's a very busy dashboard. There's lots of charts, there's graphs, there's a lot of data, there's heat points or heat maps. And I remember opening up Lumin and I was like, tell me which pedestrian poses the highest risk on a Friday morning. And it was just, gave me the answer. And I mean, that's really the power, that you don't have to go and decipher through a dashboard with, let's say, 30 different widgets or explorers. You can get to an answer very quickly. So yeah, I think that's what you essentially require.
I think it was a lot more powerful than that. And thank you to you guys for all the time you spent with us demoing that and nurturing us. But one of my favorite stories is when we demoed this dashboard, we asked it a stupid question. We said, tell us something interesting. I mean, how open-ended is that? And it hit the point on the nail. And everybody went, is that actually true? We went, yes, it's true. That's how good it was. And I think that was a game changer for us. A simple question. Tell me something interesting that happened on that day.
Yeah, so that is, yeah, but again, it's not like we're building the AI models, but what we're trying to just do is, because you basically bringing all these data points together, now we're just trying to essentially be the gateway to say to you, well, you can even decide, are you going to use GPT, are you going to use Olama, are you going to go DeepSeek, whatever. You could even do self-hosted. I know we've spoken about as potentially self-hosted LLM in your smart mind cluster. So I think that's what's nice about the OQLIS Lumin feature, is that you guys can go and decide, you know what, some customers are not going to be happy if we're pushing data into these cloud AI tools. We're going to run a clustered version. So yeah, I think very cool.
Very powerful solution. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Cool. And then obviously Brigitte, more for the internal side. Brigitte, if I remember correctly, you CFO or financial director?
Yeah, I was up until recently, but yes, I think we're the new kids on the block. And I think when it comes to the smart mind side of things, you've already been engaging with us for quite a while, but from an internal point of view, we needed a solution that went across different applications, because our previous challenge was always, and I think we are a typical medium-sized company where you're sitting with an ERP and various other applications that all have grown organically. And we had challenges getting insights from across the different applications. And that's when we then reached out to you. And I think Kevin was a great spokesman and had lots of good things to say. So then, yeah, we looked at various service providers. And I think the reason why we went with OQLIS, I think there were several reasons, because we had like a 5-point of items that we looked at. Obviously, the technical expertise of your team. It was the actual technical capability of the technology itself. But I think what overarched all of that, and some of the previous award winners have touched on that, was your client service engagement, your core values as a team that stood out. Oh, okay. Oh, didn't. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's that philosophy that we can see. We see OQLIS as a strategic partner, and so far, I think it's been really amazing what's come out of that, and we've got a much larger roadmap. So thank you so much for this award. And I gratefully accept it on behalf of Angie and the rest of the team. It's really for them.
Yeah, no, awesome. I know Dieter also wanted to be here, but he's with the German G20. So yeah, it looks like, Schauenburg. There was supposed to be a lot of Schauenburg people here tonight, but obviously they're all over the place.
Imposters. It should have gone to Angie and Kevin.
Okay. No, not at all. I think just the one thing I wanted to say is, I didn't actually know we were competing. I thought we were the only runner in the race.
Well, you were the front runner.
Okay, no, it's fine. Like I said, if there were other runners and we came first, I'm happy. That's fine. That's all good. I'm happy to hear that. All right. Mark and Brigitte, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If we can just grab a quick photo together. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, guys. That one's very loud, or someone's turned me up. I don't know. Okay. All right. And that's pretty much concludes. So again, Schauenburg, thank you very much for trusting us. We've really enjoyed working with you guys. And it's nice to hear that there's a lot more on the roadmap. So yeah, looking forward to it. And then just one last thing is, obviously, before I hand over to Andrew, is someone touched on it earlier. I think Shawn touched on it, and some of the award winners also spoken about it. But essentially, I want to thank the brand behind the brand. Right, so those are the people that essentially work with you and help build the product and help build the solutions. So essentially, without them, we're just another tech company. They give real solution assistance. They're only a phone call, email, WhatsApp away. Like someone said, Niku is always available. Doesn't matter when, what time, where. I promise you, the guy could be driving his bakkie on some 4x4 trail, and if you get hold of him, he's going to respond. So it gives me joy to know that that's how serious we take our job, and that's how much we value your business as a customer. So yeah, for my team, like I said earlier, I love coming to the office. If I miss a day, I get super grumpy. Like I don't want to miss anything. I like hearing you guys debate solutions. I like hearing how you guys and focus on problem solving. Obviously, I also enjoy the banter in the office. It's a lot of fun. We won't go into that. But just know that myself, Shawn, Andrew, we value you guys immensely. And without you, we are essentially just a product. But with you, we're a family and a business. So thanks a lot. I'm going to ask just one by one. Oh, just quickly, just check. This is essentially our team, but this is not real. So essentially what we did here was we just took still photos of everybody, and we basically asked Grok Imagine to animate the picture just with like a welcoming message. So that you'll see there's a few giveaways if you look closely, but we would never really do that. But yeah, so essentially it was just still photos, but that is our OQLIS team, and it just shows you like AI can be fun and you can have a lot of fun with it every now and again. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Not bad. You should go do some stuff like this with your office workers and just have some fun with people and be like, hey, why were you doing this? And they'll actually be like, that wasn't me. So yeah. Anyway, all right, so what I wanted to do is in the past when we thank the team, we bring everyone up, it's like clunky and it's a lot of people. So, and there's been a few changes, and I wanted to explain to people, especially like customers and potentially new customers, how we're segregating the business a little bit. So in a nutshell, this is kind of our team, and I wanted to put a face to the name. So because a lot of the guys, you work just on virtual calls, but we've broken our team essentially into two, let's call it segments. The one is our development team. So this is essentially the team that is responsible for the product dev, as well as we've got one or two customers that actually outsource their product development to us. They also run OQLIS. And essentially this team runs the whole development environment and is very closely monitored and nurtured by Andrew himself. And then the other side is obviously the guys that you work with who help you build solutions on top of OQLIS. So they'll help you do the data architecture, data engineering, build the dashboards, build the data models, etc. So just quickly, I'm going to call each guy up and just come say thank you, and then everyone can get to see who you guys are. All right. So just quickly, Gareth, just come up here quick, bud. So Gareth this year went into head of development. He's actually residing not in Pretoria, just down at the coast somewhere, but he's often up here visiting us. So Gareth, I hope you really enjoy the role. You've done great things already. Like, we are super grateful for you. I appreciate it. It's great having you. All right, cheers, Bud. And then just grab a little, whatever that. Daai dingetjie, gryp hom. What's it? A bag. A gift bag. You can see. Okay. All right. And then to Mr. OQLIS himself, Niku, just come here quickly, please, bud. So I'm going to do it because I made Gareth get his own one. Sorry, Gaza. Thanks a lot, bud. Thanks, Niku. So just quickly before you go, so Niku obviously heads up our head of solutions team. You guys who are running on the platform and working, no doubt you've engaged with him. This guy is Mr. OQLIS. Like, I know if Andrew's not available, or like if I need something done, he's my first guy I call. So Niku, you're a rock star. We appreciate you more than I think you will ever realize. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so obviously what I'll just do now is I'm going to call up each person. They're now part of the team. We can just give them a round of applause at the end. We don't have to do each person. No, don't take it the wrong way, but otherwise it's going to be clapping. So yeah. So just quickly, where's Michael? Michael McCreese. There's my boy. Okay. Michael McCreese, one of our data engineers. Thanks, bud. Where's Jonty? Okay, also that side. He's like an adopted son to me. No, really. Like, I've got two daughters, but this is like my lighty. He's very naughty. Thanks, my boy. Right, thanks a lot. Also, one of our data team works under Niku in the solutions business. Then Melandri. So she's our quality assurance engineer. So what that really means is she finds fault in everything that we do. So no, just before you go. So in a nutshell, when I got to OQLIS, I wouldn't say there were bugs, but the application wasn't it wasn't slick. So like one of the first things I said to Andrew is like, it's a great platform, it's working, but it needs a little bit of refinement, and I need someone to just come in and run the application through its paces. Fast forward after Melandri joined, I think it was about 2 weeks in, Andrew came to me and he's like, dude, can we just get her to stop testing for a bit? Because I can't keep up. There's too many bugs she's logging. But I'm glad we went this route. I mean, you've been with us for about 2 years now. So, and I mean, we've really, I felt, and the partners and customers will probably see this, I feel we've polished the app. It's a lot more streamlined. So thanks a lot for everything you do. Thank you, Melandri. Sweet. All right. And then where's Marilyn? Thanks, Mazza. Mazza's also part of the development team. So she works a lot on the OQLIS dev as well as on Market IQ. This lady shows up every day, doesn't ask questions, doesn't moan, just does her job, and she's phenomenal. So I really appreciate you, Mazza. Cheers. All right, and then Elizabeth. I'm doing the ladies in the batch here, by donkey. Thank you, Lizzie. There's yours. Lizzie's part of the data engineering and the solutions team again. So if you're building solutions and you need assistance, so I know she works a lot with the AFCRI team as well as the Schauenburg team. So yeah, I wouldn't say quiet in the office, but I think she's the law. She's the one that's like, hey, you guys are getting a bit rowdy. I need to concentrate. Robert, keep quiet. Or Jonty, stop. So really, but yeah, thanks for keeping us on our toes. We appreciate it. Thanks, Lizzie. And then where's young AC, Andrew Cross, also part of the product dev team. Just a quick interesting story about Andrew is, not only is he, sorry, I'm going a little bit, this is why I'm putting that down. All right. So essentially he's still studying. He's doing data science, but when I found him and I was like, well, would you be interested in deving and working at the same time? And he was like, I'll make it work. And not only has he made it work, I think he has surpassed all our expectations. So, shot. Thanks, Ace. Thanks, buddy. All right, and then we've got two guys who've been with us now this is their first year. Ryan Stringer and Lumin25 Awards. You guys can somewhere come together. All right. So yeah, these guys are basically also on the solutions team in the data business, helping Niku, Jonty, Mikey. And again, doing phenomenal. Don't you just want to grab some? Keep bending. Grab your own stuff, boys. Shot. Thank you, Louis. Just quickly, a couple of weeks ago, Louis' family live on a farm in Hoedspruit, and this Muppet decided he was going to go walk in the bush with pluckies. And needless to say, he stepped on a snake and got bit. Luckily, he was only in hospital for a few days and he survived. So we actually say, sometimes we think he killed the snake, But yeah, sit skoene aan volgende keer. All right, thanks a lot, Louis. Thanks, String Beans. Ryan, really appreciate it. All right, cheers, boys. Okay, that's me. I'm done. Thank goodness. All right, guys, I've appreciated everyone's time. Hopefully, if you've seen something on a customer solution that maybe resonates with you, feel free to chat to them. Or ask me for an introduction. I think we're doing some really cool stuff. I'm going to hand over to Andrew now. He's going to basically recap what we did this year and what's coming next year. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Robert. So, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. Tonight, it's about celebrating not just what we've accomplished, but what you, our customers and partners, have helped us achieve. None of this would be possible without you and, of course, the incredible team at OQLIS. One of the biggest themes this year has been the incredible advances in AI, and it's clear, as Shawn mentioned, this is not a passing trend. AI is here to stay. And for us, that's something to embrace, as it unlocks huge productivity gains and new opportunities to optimize how we do business. The exciting part is that as we experiment and build with these capabilities, we're able to pass those benefits directly on to you. And every improvement we make with AI enhances your experience and helps you optimize your own business. So once again, this is another AI generated video, but none of this, yeah, the prompt is acrobatic. None of this would be possible without the incredible individuals on our team. Each person brings something unique, whether it's creativity, problem solving, or simply their dedication to making things better every single day. The individuality and humanity are what makes this place special. And I want to sincerely celebrate each one of you and thank you for being the amazing people that you are. And together, all of you, our customers, our partners, and team are what make up OQLIS. You are the heart of the business, and without you, OQLIS is just a name. So when customers choose OQLIS, let's understand why. So at the heart of it, they want a single version of the truth. They want an integrated portal where everything can be viewed in one place, with automated reporting, remote access, and easy distribution, and seamless scalability. Ultimately, they want to treat their data as a product. Each one of the modules that we have support and power that mission, and I want to highlight the award winners tonight. So Loadtech uses OQLIS to ingest all the industrial weighing data, giving their customers clear device reporting and a scalable data product. Forte Supply Chain Solutions uses OQLIS to integrate all of their systems, and they've created their own white label product. Adroit Technologies uses our Unify module and IoT module to ingest SCADA data, produce forecasts, and deliver a fast cloud interface for their clients. Gijima, our data impact winner, uses OQLIS in their SOC to unify security reporting and give their teams a single version of the truth across all their network products. And finally, Schauenburg, our overall Lumin winner, has built entirely new products on top of their sensor data using OQLIS, especially within SmartMine. So as we look back on 2025, there are 4 key areas that have driven our development efforts this year: security, observability, scalability, and AI capability. So this year was a big year for us in terms of security. We made significant strides. One of the highlights was undergoing a rigorous security audit and a pen test for one of our customers who needed to meet Visa's stringent requirements. It was a great opportunity to validate our security, and we're proud to say that we met those standards. We also introduced key enhancements this year. We implemented a web agent user session fingerprint, which creates a unique device browser signature that each session is tied to the correct user. So people in the security industry would know about session hijacking. This essentially eliminates session hijacking. To add to that, what happened earlier in the year is that as the customer was being tested by Visa, what they do is they put out in the market basically to any white hat hacker, basically probe this domain. And what they discovered is that, oh, guess what? We've got an entirely online production system that's open to probe as well. So the great thing about that is essentially we were able to, in real time, catch them basically trying to probe our production system. So to help us solve that better internally, we even built our own log parser, which essentially scrapes all our access logs and error logs. And we basically push that into a database, and we monitor each and every web request that hits our servers. And then we tied that into our automations feature and our smart analysis feature to essentially give us proactive warnings around potential hacker activity, even down to the fact that essentially we can write a prompt and say, please notify me of any suspicious IP addresses. And we'd essentially get an automation based on that. And then another huge advancement for us this year was observability. And the great thing about observability is that we built this for ourselves as well as you. So This year, we focus heavily on improving it so that users can clearly see what's happening underneath the hood of OQLIS. We introduced Unify Observability, which gives you live feedback when unifiers are running, what code is being executed, and how much resources are being used. We also improved email delivery logging, so you can see exactly what emails are getting sent out the system. We also enhanced data caching visibility, so you can monitor new row additions, deletions, etc. So another important thing for us this year was deciding, well, with all the data that we're ingesting across all the customers, we need an extremely high performance database technology. And the database technology that we were using up until now, in typical, let's call it freemium scenario, decides to change their licensing model at the last minute. So for a long time, we'd been investigating ClickHouse. So one of the biggest advancements this year is that we officially chose ClickHouse as our high performance data warehouse. And since OQLIS runs on top of a data warehouse, this gives a major speed and efficiency boost for our customers. But another important factor is that scalability is not just about technology. We also started offering consulting to help our customers handle big data, even if they didn't use the platform. So that was a big breakthrough for us. So even if they were using another platform, but still had those same big data challenges, we were able to essentially consult them and help them. Second to that, we also now provide managed solutions where essentially we take care of the entire infrastructure, performance, and the best practice setup so that customers can enjoy the benefits of a highly scalable system at a fraction of the cost. Then again, this year we expanded our Lumin module, which essentially acts, as Rob mentioned, as the gateway to large language models like ChatGPT. This helps us deliver smarter, more automated features. And what's quite nice about this is that we now support automatic content creation inside scheduled emails. You just simply describe the content you want in those mails. So, for instance, if you've ever set up a schedule in OQLIS, you can essentially give it another chart's data, give your prompt, and essentially that will become the body of the email that goes out in the distribution. So that email will have full context of the data that's inbuilt inside of that dashboard. And essentially you can tailor to what your customer, how they'll interpret it. Then we also introduce smart automations, as I mentioned, for our log parser and early warning alerts. So basically you can ask a large language model yes/no questions like, are these IP suspicious? Did I make target this month? Are there any issues? And essentially the AI will make its own judgment. And given the fact that we say only return yes or no, we can then trigger actions based on that yes or no prompt. So for essentially non-mathematical type scenarios where it's not greater than or equal to, or it's not a mix of certain things, it's essentially the AI's judgment on that data. You can then trigger automations. And then ultimately those automations can trigger unifies, send SMSs, WhatsApps, etc. Then another big one for us is we added narrative KPIs. So essentially what this means is that the AI essentially can write the summary of your data directly to the dashboard. So it's nice to give dashboards context of that sort of human-read data. All right, so that's about what we've done. Now the important thing is about what we're doing next. So these are the 4 key elements that we're going to focus on in 2026. And I'm going to deep dive into each one, but I'll first provide the summary. So firstly, we're introducing data apps. So this will allow you to create a micro business application directly from your dashboard, giving users an app-like interaction that's tailored to their workflow. And I'll deep dive into some of the examples. Next, we're going to expand Lumin so that you can prompt it to build dashboards for you and explore the data just by asking. Thirdly, we're going to modernize our UI with a cleaner, more intuitive design focused on readability and user experience. And then finally,
This is probably new to the rest of the team, but we're going to roll out Data Pulse. So think about Data Pulse as an AI-generated newspaper for your business. Delivered daily, weekly, monthly, with natural language summaries of your most important insights. And I'll deep dive into what that means. So, data apps will transform dashboards into fully functional applications. You'll be able to add dashboards and custom HTML pages, create your own navigation structure, control page access, and give certain users an app-only experience that shields them from the rest of the UI. It's all about adding business context and letting customers build true data-driven products. So a typical example of this would be, say I'm in the finance department and my financial reporting is broken down into certain dashboards, whether it's the balance sheet, income statement, profit loss, whether it's inventory, whether it's procurement, whether it's HR. So all of these different pieces of analysis exist within the business ecosystem and a certain workflow. Now, somebody will have to either know which dashboard to go to and navigate and click on that. But data apps will allow you to group that all together in a logical way, the way that the business actually operates. And then you don't just need one data app. You can have a data app for procurement that deep dives even further, or a data app for operations that's essentially tailored to their business workflow. And then also what this enables, particularly for our white label customers, is that you will be able to essentially ring fence that entire dashboard into a product-based experience for your customers. So as you define what their workflow will look across your dashboards, you'll be able to build that in so that your customers will have an app-like experience inside the dashboard. So that's what's coming next. So really excited about that one. We pretty far in the dev on that, and basically we're expecting probably a late January release on that. So that's available pretty soon. So we've been working pretty hard on that. Then, as mentioned before, the expansion of Lumin will make it easier than ever to generate insights. You'll be able to use prompts to quickly spin up dashboards and explore your data conversationally. So for a long time, I mean, this is entirely technically possible. We just need to get to it. So yeah, excited about that one too. So it's essentially picture basically a prompt in the middle of OQLIS where it says, well, show me some financial insights and build me a fully fledged dashboard. And essentially any LLM will be able to talk back to us to essentially build that programmatically on the user's behalf. Then, as I mentioned, we will update our UI, focus on a more cleaner, modern look, and also refine those user interactions and hopefully make the process more smoother and intuitive. So this takes me to Data Pulse. So Data Pulse provides AI-curated insights feed delivered straight to your inbox or viewed in-app. So you'll be able to flag insights, customize prompts, and choose how often you want your pulse delivered. The real benefit is that you get a proactive stream of insights, like having an AI agent always scanning your data and surfacing what matters. And what will happen is that Data Pulse will become a major differentiator, especially for our white label customers, that your customers will get those curated insights that they couldn't find anywhere else, and it'll essentially all be automated. So I just then want to bring essentially these 4 areas just into sort of holistic view. So picture your data app, be it in finance or a particular product that you're building. And then now imagine navigating to that homepage. And in that homepage, you don't have to go deep dive for your insights. You'll be able to just mark certain charts or certain explores, essentially to build you that daily feed or that daily newspaper. And it'll summarize that. So your homepage will always be live, always be relevant to the context. So couple Data Pulse with data apps, and essentially you get a fully autonomous AI enabled data experience that essentially fits in with the business workflow that we all work in anyway. So yeah, so I hope that's exciting for everybody. So as we come to a close, I want to congratulate our award winners once again, and from the heart, we are here for you. If tonight sparked any ideas, or if there's something that you've been wanting to chat to us about, we're just a conversation away, and we genuinely want to help turn those ideas into reality. We're going to stick around, take a few photos, and have a few drinks to celebrate. And you're welcome to join and stay. And thank you so much for being here. And we can't wait to create amazing things together. Thank you so much.
Green salad